City planners are now toying with the idea of permanently closing down a stretch of Ocean Boulevard in Pacific Beach. An experiment in closing that street on a temporary basis during the evening hours has been extremely successful. And as Channel 10's Margaret Radford reports, most area residents want to see the gates go up full time.
The city is not only considering a 24-hour closure of this stretch of Ocean Boulevard, but they may also add another block to the closed area and convert it into a tree-lined pedestrian mall, which according to the city would do much to dress up the area, which only a few months ago was troubled by crime and noise. While most of the people in the community support making the nighttime closure permanent, they aren't so sure about the other permanent changes the city would like to make. They say they'd like to see some plans first.
People now walk from northern part of Ocean Boulevard all the way down here to my restaurant to eat dinner. They never would before. They were afraid. The crime problem's been eliminated. The nighttime closure's been significant for all the business people along Ocean Boulevard.
And they'd like to see it permanent.
I think there's a feeling that the nighttime closure, they're hoping and wishing, and it has to be permanent. Now, the rest of the closure, 24-hour, is still up to debate.
But some people are concerned about the additional block the city wants to close because it may mean the loss of some parking spaces. However, they say they'll support the city when it goes before the Coastal Commission for permission to close Ocean Boulevard permanently when the commission meets on December 7th. The city can't do anything without permission from the Coastal Commission, and the people in the community say they'll haggle out their differences on how the closure should be handled when the city holds public hearings. For the news, I'm Margaret Radford reporting from Pacific Beach.
The Secretary of Labor, F. Ray Marshall, says the undocumented aliens in the United States are creating quite a problem, and we could reduce the unemployment in this country to 4% if it weren't for those undocumented aliens. Marshall also says the impact of illegal workers in the United States is generally underestimated. Meanwhile, county officials, or I should say officials here in the United States, told the news tonight that they have contracted with a private research firm to investigate the impact those illegal aliens are having on San Diego County workers. That research was started last month. The results of it will not be completed until mid-April of 1980. Well, if you're trying to give a visitor to our city directions to San Diego's Antique Row, you may have a little trouble figuring out exactly where it is. As we see in this report from Channel 10's Margaret Radford, Antique Row is one of San Diego's best-kept secrets.
Nestled along a 1.5-mile stretch of Adams Avenue are some 40 antique shops. And though most people don't know it, this is Antique Row. There's something else you probably didn't know about. You missed the Adams Avenue Antique Row Christmas show and sale. Noticeably absent were the throngs of people crowding the street to be first in line for that prime antique Christmas gift. But don't be dismayed. Some of the merchants apparently didn't know about it either. Some weren't even open today. But the ones who were open say there's a reason why the event was overlooked.
Well, we have a small problem with the Charger game this afternoon. Like 90% of San Diego is glued to the TV sets at this moment, like I'd like to be and like you'd like to be.
Nonetheless, the Antique Row Christmas show and sale went on as scheduled. In fact, they say they'll be putting on another show and sale closer to Christmas. But this time, they're hoping that the well-guarded secret of Antique Row is passed around to as many people as possible. For the news, I'm Margaret Radford reporting from Antique Row in Normal Heights.
Still to come on the news, Steve Day has highlights of that disappointing Charger game, and Bob Mills has tomorrow's weather forecast, and San Diego's Christmas tree was lit up in Balboa Park tonight. Bob and the forecast up next.